Thank you for watching the latest edition of Inside IU Volleyball with Sherry Dunbar. I'm Cody Sherritt. Coach, you were out of town recruiting in Missouri this weekend, but the team went down to Louisville for another scrimmage.
Yeah, I know we had a lot of injuries towards the end of last week, and we were trying to decide whether to go or not, and talked to Louisville. We really felt like it would be beneficial, and I think it was. Talked to our captain, Caitlin Cox, after, and she thought it was a good day. Did a lot of scrimmage opportunities and played, I think, one set against Louisville, and hopefully I'll get to see the film today.
And we came out on top in that set, and afterwards I was able to talk to Coach K and Sam Thrower.
I thought we were very scrappy today. Our defenders, especially our DSs and Caitlin, our libero, were very good. I mean, we were all over the court picking up balls, and thought we kept ourselves in a lot of plays. Our hitting was up and down at points, but we kept ourselves alive a lot of times with just very good defense and very kind of focused play.
The biggest improvement for us has definitely been our serving, our defense, and our blocking. That's the things that Coach Dunbar wanted us to focus on, and we definitely improved in that.
First week we didn't play with any setters, so that was more just the individual players. You know, can we pass well enough? Can they hit well enough off any kind of sets? Can we block as a group? You know, but there wasn't a lot of organization. Last week was a little better, but I thought our organization today was a lot better. We ran our offense at times really effectively. We played as much more of a block defensive group. So I think over the time that has kind of really grown.
Personally, I think for me, blocking has definitely been a very important thing that I've been focusing on this whole spring, so I think that's definitely picked up a lot.
The spring semester is just wrapping up. A few more weeks left of classes and then finals, and you only have one more week of practice left as a team. What are you looking to get out of that with no more spring matches remaining?
Well, I think we want to finish on a high note. Last week was probably our best week of practice this spring. So we want to finish on that note and kind of get them prepared. Most of them will be here all summer, taking summer classes, working camps, training. So kind of want to get them ready to start that on their own. And this is kind of that part of the year that they have to take ownership for themselves and coach each other and coach themselves and push themselves. So kind of want to get them in that mindset of doing that.
What have been some of the biggest improvements you've seen as a team and even individually this spring?
Yeah, you know, I think most improved, I would say Ivy had a really good spring overall. I think, you know, from what I hear, she struggled a little bit on Saturday, kind of got into a slump, but I think she at least understands that better now and knows what she needs to do to get out of it. So I've seen some really good things individually out of a lot of them. Just understanding the maturity level and what it's going to take now after going to a Sweet 16 appearance, what it's going to take to get back to something like that and get back to the NCAA tournament. So, you know, this last week we're gonna go hard. The defense has gotten a lot better, I think. Our ball control, just as far as bettering the ball in bad situations. So we want to keep working on those things, and then hopefully they can take that into summer.
And for our our last Fun Friday, we had a lot of fun. We went out to the ROTC fields out by UGym, and the girls had some fun paintballing.
That was so fun. You know, we showed up in the morning at 6:45, and in their lockers were fatigues to put on, which was very fun. So they knew they were going to do something challenging and interesting, and that was such a neat experience for all of us. Mike Ogden, who's the lieutenant colonel, introduced us to 16-17 senior class that probably within the next year will be deployed to Afghanistan or Iraq, and they kind of ran the whole thing, and they just couldn't have been any nicer. And to hear that our ROTC unit, I think, is ranked in the top 2 or 3 in the country out of 275 or so ROTC units was fantastic, and that they were just as excited to do things with us as we were to kind of get out of them. So did some paintball fights, and the kids had a really good time with them and just interacting with them too and understanding what they do for us.
It was funny, they started out shooting at targets, and then it kind of eventually got to, first it was Jade and Mary messing around, shooting each other, and then it just comes out to an all-out war. They have paint in their hair and everything. It was so fun to watch.
Yeah, you know, and it kind of brings out that, and you see, you know, when I go do those things with them on Fridays, it's so fun to observe because you really get to see a different personality come out. You see Hansen, somebody like Caitlin Hansen, just get after it. Or Caitlin Cox beat one of their guys in a target shooting contest. So you just see them in kind of that uncomfortable zone, but really having a good time, and you see a different personality out of them.
Yeah, and more with that personality. We're going to leave you this week with a special interview I did with Melanie Hicks and a couple of her friends. Thanks for watching this episode of Inside IU Volleyball. What was the nastiest thing you saw today? Was it Mary Shadoine's snot rag?
No, Mary Shadoine has no comment on that. But I think the nastiest point was definitely when Mary hit the ball on the 1 foot line and made the ground vibrate.
Who taught Jade Henderson how to roll like that?
You know, Jade Henderson. Jade Henderson is a very acrobatic child. She was actually raised by ninjas in Antarctica, so she had to learn how to survive on her own. So, you know, I think it's something she's just figured out throughout her life.
Does Kelsey ever screw up your lunch orders?
Kelsey Cronin is the best chef ever. She says she buys everything from Subway, but we know that she secretly goes in the locker room and just makes it all herself.
Because Coach K was complaining about it.
Oh, Coach K.
How was today without Coach Dunbar?
You know, we missed her a lot, but I think that we really stepped up as a team and played and held each other accountable, which was great.
Voiced by Mary Shadoine.